Hey everybody, you're watching Ready Set Drone. Today I am going to be doing another interview with a very successful website owner, traveler, and drone flyer who travels all around the world promoting travel specifically for women and using drones to take really awesome video and photos. Hey Jen, it's great to have you here on Ready Set Drone. Tell us a little bit about yourself and your website.
Sounds good. Thank you so much for having me. Yes, so I started The Travel Women, and it's all about empowering women to get outside their comfort zone and travel. And for me, as a professional photographer and now a professional videographer, I've really taught myself how to create great travel videos. And a huge part of that for me is getting unique angles that no one else has, no one else usually has seen. And a really important tool that I use in my photography kit is a drone. Right now I'm using the Mavic and the Spark, and excited to get the Mavic Air next.
Very cool. So tell us a little bit about The Travel Women. How did you start the site? Why did you start the site? You know, kind of what was the genesis?
Absolutely. So I started it about 2 years ago now, and it is amazing how it's grown. I actually started my career working at a travel magazine and learned a lot about the travel industry, but always had questions as a woman. Would I feel safe going to places like India or Morocco, places that I really wanted to go to, but didn't have enough resources to really make, informed decisions to figure out where I can go solo. And when I kept coming, across mixed information, things not being safe, things being safe, I wanted to create one resource for other women to share their voices, for me to share mine about places I've been, to hear from others where they've been. And that's when The Travel Women was born. I started a blog and Instagram community where it really has just taken off. And I'm so glad, because these are some of, these bloggers that I work with regularly are some of my closest friends now.
Awesome. So in terms of kind of the goal or the mission of The Travel Women, is it to entice people to go to places, or kind of vet different places to visit, or what would you say is the main purpose of someone visiting your site?
I think that the inspiration is definitely key. It's one of the top things that we have is a little bit of every type of inspiration of where to go next. The biggest question people are constantly Googling and asking is, okay, I have a week off. Where do I go? Where's the next hot place? Where's the next Iceland? And people are asking me those questions, and I, through resources that I read, through places I've traveled, I'm sort of vetting out what are the types of places that a person into adventure might be interested in, or someone who has never traveled solo before but wants to feel super comfortable, super safe. What type of European trip do they want? What type of island trip would be perfect for them?
So then how does that mesh with your photography and video work?
Absolutely. So by being the photographer who really creates most of the content with the website and with all of the social platforms, I am really inspiring a lot of women to get into cameras and photography. I've had a lot of fun collaborating with bloggers in person and through Instagram and through DM and through social media, asking me questions, and I'm happy to share when they constantly ask, oh, what camera do you use? What do you recommend? And through that, I've been able to sort of continue that conversation, and I enjoy being able to inspire others to get into photography and now video.
Tell me a little bit about, you said the Travel Women took off. What does that mean? I mean, was it your intention from the beginning with the blog to build a big audience, or did that just sort of happen organically, or did you seed it with, was it a lot of work for posting things on Instagram, or how did you get it to be where it is today?
Yes, so I spent a lot of time obsessing about it. I was constantly on Instagram, constantly engaging. I love Instagram because it is such a photo-based visual platform. So I was, at some of the first ever Insta meets where a bunch of photographers got together and geeked out about cameras, at the Brooklyn Bridge Park or, in Central Park. And I am so happy that I got to meet photographers through Instagram and then continue building my Instagram up. It honestly just took a lot of obsessing, a lot of time. And I'm glad it all worked out because it has definitely allowed me building this whole platform to travel even more. And I've made this my full-time endeavor.
Oh, nice, nice. What this may be a tough question to answer, but I know I could think of this just based on my experience with creating content. What generally do your audience, what do they respond to the most? Like what do you find the best kind of picture or the best kind of video to post is? Is it about a specific place or a style of picture? Is it landscapes? What do most people really respond well to?
That's a great question. I'm always trying to figure out, what is the best content and not repost the same type of best content, but always change it up. So I think on Instagram, photo-wise, landscapes always do really well. Sunsets that are not too saturated, but just beautiful golden light. If there is a woman, but she's a little bit farther back, so you can see sort of a silhouette on a mountain, that does great. If you have certain places that do really well on Instagram are, Mykonos in Greece, you've got the islands, you've got Morocco always does well. So I try to balance it so that I'm not just, sharing things that I know will do well, but to balance that with places that people haven't always seen, different angles of places. So you have, a place in Prague that no one has ever really heard of, but, next time they're in Prague, they're going to say, okay, I'm going to bookmark this and I want to go here to see another side of a place that is not often seen. So yeah, I think that's sort of the Instagram side of things. With YouTube and with videos, I'm still trying to find the best type of content. I love doing food content, and I think that does really well on my YouTube. And when you travel, a huge part of travel is eating.
Sure.
So I just did a video on, top dollar slices for pizza in New York City, which is so perfect for New York and just in time for the National Pizza Day.
Oh,
so
perfect.
I like having fun with food and things like that.
Very cool. Well, yeah, it sounds like you mix it up a lot. You don't just go for one style. In terms of places you've traveled, and taking your drone, you mentioned the next Iceland, and of course Iceland's been a really popular place to visit with Americans, at least for the last few years. I had an opportunity to go to Norway last year, which was pretty awesome, and I think similar landscape to Iceland in a lot of ways in terms of the waterfalls and such. But what would you say is your top one or two places that if someone hasn't traveled a lot and especially a woman, maybe she wants to go with friends or maybe she wants to take her family, what would be a good starter place to travel to that has a little bit of everything?
Ooh,
I'm putting you on the
for
spot.
a more Yeah, no, this is great. So for a more exotic angle, I love Morocco. That was one of my favorite trips I've taken, and I'm actually going to be heading trips to Morocco very soon. So I absolutely love it for a girls' trip. Get a bunch of women together, get a private tour guide, and customize the tour as you like. It's relatively inexpensive to go to Morocco, so your dollar goes a lot farther, which I enjoy. I think that's definitely an amazing destination. And then Italy is by far, one of my favorite destinations, especially for new time travelers. Italians are so friendly and they're so great. I'm also a little bit biased because I'm Italian, and I've also been to Italy 4 or 5 times, but I love Italy and I keep going back for the food, the people. There's so many amazing historic sites and it's very safe. So I think that's definitely a great destination for first time travelers.
Back to your website and your social properties. I know you said you put a lot of work into Instagram up front. Tell me just a little bit about the business side of it. I mean, is it something that you can hopefully build into a place where it can sustain itself? I mean, what's your long-term goal for your website and your social media presence?
Absolutely. I think that eventually having it sustain itself more would be great. I'm very, it's hard to sort of see how that will pan out because I'm very hands-on. So I'm constantly, engaging directly. I'm, on it regularly. but I think in the long term, I'd love to really grow it and to have opportunities for people to share content in new ways. So one thing I've been thinking about for Instagram, for example, would be to host regular photo contests. So maybe there's a theme like doors or mountains or even color, something visual that gets people to have a new photo challenge each week or each month. And that's something for Instagram. And then for the blog, I'm constantly trying to really build the traffic and to build out new sections. So I think one section that you'd be really excited about would be drones. So I have a lot of content on, this drone, should you buy that drone? And I would love to consolidate that all into one real category with its own drop-down menu in the nav bar. So that's something I'm definitely looking to do more of. I love combining new technology with travel and creating travel content. Another thing that I've gotten into recently has been 360 cameras. So I'm having fun with that at the moment. I just got my second 360 camera and am sort of trying to figure out how do I use it in different ways.
What just curious, which two do you have? Which two 360 cameras?
Yeah, I started out on the Samsung, the newest Samsung 2017 360 camera. And then I realized later that the quality was not as good as it could be. And then I actually got the Rilo camera, which is really great. It's records in 4K. It does amazing stabilized shots. So you could run with it. You could, attach it to a dog. It's kind of a fun, it's so fun because it has a GoPro mount. So you can attach it to any.
Oh, I see. Anything that GoPro can mount to. That's awesome. I've had it on my list of things to try for a while, to put a 360 camera on a couple of drones and take them up. And just, I think a lot of motion with a 360 camera can be a little bit disorienting, but I think like a really cool just shot from above of a park or of, some sort of sports, of course not a big sports stadium because you can't fly over those, but something going on, like my son playing Frisbee or something would be really cool in a 360 view.
I agree. I've been wanting to attach it to a drone as well. It's a tricky thing because I'd hate for it to be too heavy. I don't know.
What would you encourage people to do, especially most of my audience is men, so how would they engage with you and not feel like they're stepping on the women's website?
Totally. I welcome men always to come hang out, say hi on Instagram, say hi on Twitter, Facebook, everywhere. On the website, there's content for everyone. So it's not really, no boys allowed. It's definitely a lot of content that guys and girls can enjoy and learn from. So guys are 100% welcome to come, share, comment, engage, and share their views. So, yeah.
So you said you've been shooting with the Spark and the Mavic. Can you tell me a little bit about kind of how you approach flying in a country that maybe you've never been to before or where you don't speak the language? I mean, drones can be a little tricky at times if people are intimidated. So how do you get around that? Yes.
So I think So whenever I go on a trip, I Google, is a drone allowed in this country? First of all.
Good point.
Yeah, I've had one country that I've been to where drones were not allowed. You could not import it. You could not bring it over the border, and that was Barbados. So that was one of the first times I experienced that. But knowing about it ahead of time saves you the headache of having to deal with what do I do when I get there and they say I can't bring it into the country. So being informed is the best way to do it. I also, download all different types of maps to make sure I'm, far enough away from any possible issues where I'm flying. And for the most part, I'm usually in rural places and I'm, in very beautiful natural landscapes where my drone is not interfering with anything, or there's not too many people. So it's for the most part, it's been a great way to see new places and scope out new shots. So maybe I, start flying and then I see a new peak or some place where I'm like, ooh, I want to go there and photograph and get another angle. So it's been really helpful.
awesome. I love what you're doing. You know, I love the fact that you're trying to make travel more accessible to everyone and kind of help people feel safe and excited about it. So way to go.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate talking to you, and definitely everyone check out my YouTube. I'd love it if you subscribe to my YouTube. Go check me out on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, all the Travel Women. And on YouTube, it's Jennifer O'Brien, my name, and thetravelwomen.com.